Alright folks, this is MTR from MTR FAB. Today we're going to do a different project. What I have in front of you is my buddy's 6x12 cargo trailer that he just purchased. He's looking to upfit this a little bit to suit his purpose. We're going to do some custom stuff for him. Get him set up so when he goes to the job site he has a place to stash his stuff. And so everything's nice and neat and stays where he puts it. So I've loosely talked about this with Trav and what he wants, and then he essentially said, you know, I can about do whatever I want to. Kind of curious. See what this looks like today. Did work on it quite a bit, and I keep forgetting to do an update. So I'll show you what I got so far. How about that? That makes a little more sense. So I still have this third level here to put up top, and actually this one isn't screwed in, it's just held up by clamps right now. And you can see where there's going to be a shelf up front. And I'm going to put I think the charge station is going to be up there. And then I haven't decided if I'm going to do 2 sliding door cabinets or leave one open shelving. You know, the reality is we had a discussion about what he actually wants to fit in this cabinet and what he wants to secure. And then he has some bigger stuff that I think we're going to fit under the front here and under this. And then ultimately some staging will be in this area. So I think I'm going to do some stuff on the floor for him that's removable, so he can quickly, you know, kind of change the configuration in here. But on with that, I'm going to get some more of this done, and I'll update you guys when I make some more moves. Excuse the shadows, because we're running on some LED light. This is where we're at now. I broke the brad nailer out and I just brad nailed the shelves on. I actually haven't done these two, but I did the top one because obviously I'm not going to be able to get fasteners in it now down through the plywood. So I stapled some 18 gauge 1.25" brad nails all the way, you know, around the perimeter of it, and that should be enough for the top piece. And then I'll do the same thing for these guys. I did cut a piece for this front shelf, which was kind of a pain, just because it had all these angles in it, and you can see it fits pretty good. It took me a second. I didn't want to end up with a seam in the shelf for him, so there's a 2x under there that he could I could have done this in 2 pieces, but I chose to do it like this. I also left this front open, one, to make it easier, and 2, the piece of material I had left over from the sheet was 30 inches, and that's 30 inches. So this is great because it allows me to get my cord up through here, because I think I'm going to run him a charging bank in the front crotch there with, you know, some of his surge protectors that he wants up there. We'll just run the cord up through and stick that on the wall. But that's what it's looking like as of now. So standing in the back corner. Now him and I were talking about some lighting solutions for him, and I really kind of recommended that he just run one of his LED work lights in here, and I honestly still think that's a great solution because look how much light it supplies. He's not going to probably have the stand-up tripod light, but he's got some other Milwaukee lights that he likes to use that I think would be more than enough light for in here. So tomorrow I'm going to face off this wall and probably that wall with the remaining material that I do have. This is where we got so far, and I wanted to share it with you because I had my buddy Trav come over and look at it, and he decided that he didn't want this opening to get minimized anymore, so I had to come up with a solution to put the sliding doors on here. And so this is a little mock-up piece that you can see, and they would sit on the outside. They're just screwed together with a piece of scrap in the back to show you the concept. And now the idea is I'm going to have the two panels, and they're going to slide in independent tracks, and they'll be able to slide by each other. Now, there isn't a ton of meat here, so I want to maximize the meat here, and I'm doing this with a dado blade. So this is a 1/2 inch deep and it's a 1/2 inch wide, and I've got like a shim in there, and I don't know what the shim measures, but just enough to create, you know, plenty of space. And this is the idea I'm going to run with, and hopefully this edge is rugged enough over time. You know, I'm fearsome that if something knocks it with a door open that you'll actually be able to break this. And I'm sure I could break it. It's not a question of whether I can break it. It's, you know, if it will last the test of time. So I'm going to try to leave as much meat out on this one as possible. I may thin up this center section because I'm less worried about it. As you can see, I've gotten some places with it. The cabinet now has both doors, top and bottom. And if you look, you can see how I ended up doing it. So I used the faces of the cabinet as the side of the drawers, or the door slide. And then I cut a groove in it, basically rabbited it, and then I did a rabbit joint. I don't know what the proper term would be. And then I dadoed another groove right next to it, which gives you what you see. It looks like it's going to be rugged enough. They slide nice. I got to put some handles on it for them, and they can pass by each other because they're in separate tracks. Then up front here, this is where his power strip's going to go. It's about ready to get dark now. So I guess I'll show you what I got done. I got these, a couple of these hung. Got this call board that he wanted, because I think he was talking that, you know, stuff like that he could throw under there, and hopefully it'll be standing when he stops. And wanted to talk about why I've ended up padding these out. And part of the reason why I padded these out is because they come with 3/4 inch or 1 inch hardware, and these are 2 1/2 inch pieces of plywood. Now, if I used 1/2 inch screws, I could have gone to the hardware store and found some, but I really don't think long term this would like to hang on in 1/2 inch screws. So I'm thinking the 1 inch screws was the right choice. And these actually work rather well, considering I haven't done any waxing or anything. Just because I was anticipating I would have to like put some paraffin wax or something in the jambs or the edges of the doors, but not the case. They seem to work just fine. And then we got the power strip mounted up front. Well, that's after taking it apart and realizing I couldn't undo it. Oh, it's on this board. I just popped a hole in it so you can get the cord in and out if you choose to replace it later. This is floating right now in case you wanted to run wires or notch this, or I don't know. I was thinking about trying to keep wires clean and, you know, behind here in this space. But we'll let the end user decide what he wants to do. Right, finished product day. Well, there's a couple things we didn't get to because he didn't give me dimensions yet, but we can do those. I've got still more racks to put on the right side, but the fabrication side of this is all done. You know, I've got the cabinets. You guys have seen those as we've gone. Got the latches on there. They work super nice. All right. Awesome. So got those at both ends. Got a surge protector, and I just vacuumed it out from inside here. How I did that was like a shoreline, and so this extension cord is going to my house, and it comes out here, it comes up front, and at any point, you know, you just disconnect it, tuck the cord in, swing this shut, latch this bad boy up. And the only downside is it's a little troublesome to get to this side latch, but I may modify this, and I'm going to shore this up with an angle bracket behind here. That's kind of the last thing I'm doing here as I'm deciding how much I like or dislike this whole thing. So this box could change depending on how the sun takes to it. The polycarbonate may or may not like the sun, and that's the difficult side to get. Put this up out of the way, cord comes down, plug you in, and now the surge protector is live inside the trailer for him. Now he can do whatever he needs. Now, I could have found a bulkhead grommet or something, but I put enough silicone RTV in an oversized hole to make myself my own bushing that I'm confident won't shear, tear, or peel. And, you know, you can see the stake bits, you know, holding the wire in. They were just into this Luan, so I actually used some of that sealant to just kind of secure those on as well. So the wire's nicely tucked out of the way. You know, ultimately I probably should have built a, you know, a bottom protection here, but I'm just going to make it clear to him that he can't, you know, jam stuff up in that corner, because that's kind of the weak spot. But if we have to cover it, we will. He just needs to get this out on the job site and use it. I decided to do this in 2x stock instead of plywood, and part of it was I want him to be able to screw other stuff here so he doesn't have to entirely rely on this hooking system. So, you know, hopefully when he gets here soon, and I can help him lay these out and maybe shoot those in for him as the last thing. Alright everyone, if you liked what you saw in this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. This content varies greatly, so if you guys give me good feedback on this type of stuff, I'll do more of it. Thanks for watching. I'm out.